Beeks is over there sunning herself. I am connecting to the chat. She keeps wanting me to re-sign in. I don't know why, but it does. As per usual, it's going to do something funky. Oh, there we go. Right in there. Must be my lucky day today. Alright, yeah, cool. Yeah, sorry, a couple minutes late. Beeks decided she wanted to powder her nose right before we started, so, and trail something. She decided there was something in the backyard that she had to check out, so there we go. Get everybody over here. Alright, we can get started. So today we are going to be doing a really quick yogurt bread recipe that I just got, and I'm pretty excited to try it out this morning. And so we'll be getting to use our yogurt bread, and then we're going to do some bacon omelets, and all should be right with the world. So we're going to get to use today, we're going to be using the Lodge loaf pan, the small version. And we're going to be using what everybody should have at least one of in their kitchen, is the Lodge 9-inch griddle. Should have one of those. And we broke out, for the other thing, we're going to break out our Smithy number 10 griddle, which is pretty cool. So there we go. So that's what we're going to be using this morning. Alright. Is anybody in yet? If you guys can hear me and see me okay, please hit the like button so that I know everybody can hear me and see me okay. Appreciate it. Because I'm going to jump right into this. Because for one reason, I am super hungry. There we go. Alright. And this is a recipe for the bread that is so quick and easy that it makes me almost wonder why more people don't do it. Hey boy. Yeah boy, what's going on? Thank you so much. If you can hear and see. There we go. Alright, cool. Heather White here. The great Heather White. Belfast finest. Straight from Ireland this morning. Okay, so what we're starting out with is we've got a cup of plain Greek yogurt. So we'll just slap that in there. And this actually has a little bit of kneading, which is not one of my favorites to normally do, which is knead bread, but we are going to knead the bread, just a small amount today. So we've got a 1 cup of yogurt in there. And then now for this one, not just plain flour doesn't work. If you don't have self-rising flour like this is, I've got 2 cups of self-rising. Well, I actually have 1 3/4 cup of self-rising flour, and then I have 1/4 cup of dark rye flour. The dark rye flour isn't necessary. I just wanted to darken the bread up a little bit and give it a little more stability and a little more of the gluten in there. So we're just going to pop that into here. And I'm going to egg wash this too, and throw some sea salt on top of it. Because I don't like bread that doesn't have salt in it, as far as the recipe goes. That doesn't have very much. I like to add at least a teaspoon of salt. No more than already is in the self-rising flour. We're going to mix that a little bit as we go and see if anybody else has shown up. And we got a few folks stopping in where I fling the flour all over the place. But this is one thing I have done. If you're not going to sift it, put it in a little bit at a time. There we go. I'm flinging this stuff everywhere. I want to cage this stuff up. There we go. And there's no rest to this too. This is the one thing. It's got about 25 to 30 minutes in the oven, depending on how long, how well it does to begin with. and that's all there is to it. Man, this is flying all over the place. It's getting a bit dodgy. Something to drink. Got my beverage going this morning. I skipped the coffee today. I've been waking up the last few mornings with a little bit of a headache. For some reason, I don't even know why. I think it's a weather change. So I skipped the coffee. Coffee's never a good cure for headaches unless it's a hangover. Then it's impertinent, you know. Gatorade, a little coffee, and you kind of gotta have it in there. But if you just have a headache, it's just. And I didn't have enough drinks last night to have myself a headache. Put this lid back on here and pop this around a little bit. Flour settled in there. There we go. So we won't have even more of a mess. Throw the rest of that in there. But yeah, 2 cups of flour for the whole thing. So it's sort of a 2-to-1 ratio, I guess you'd say, if you were an actual baker. 2 parts flour, 1 part yogurt. And like I said, I'm going to egg wash the top of that. And geez, Pete, do you see that flying? This stuff is going everywhere. I'm going to look like a baker by the time I'm done. That's getting ridiculous. I think we're going to have to just move this on and just get my hands dirty. That's what I was trying not to do, but I think I'm just going to have to get in there. I'm going to have flour everywhere. Lake Hickory guy, what's up, buddy? Good to see you this morning. Hope your Sunday's going well. Mine's going pretty good. I got a lot of stuff in the garden done. Got a lot of stuff picked out of the garden. A lot of the stuff that we're going to use today actually came from the garden. All the vegetables for the omelets, pretty much. The onions, everything. Just about, I think everything but the cheese and the actual eggs. And I've got an egg plug from a lady down the street who has chickens, and she donated me a couple dozen eggs this week. So today's sort of sponsored by lady down the street that's got some eggs. So I'm gonna wet my hands, and I'm gonna get my hands in there and start getting into this, because this flour's flying all over this morning. Maybe I just don't have my stirring hands yet. That could be. Get my hands wet and then we'll start getting into this. There we go. So you're gonna be able to, you gotta have it enough to get it into form a loaf. It's only going to make one, and that's one of the things that I've been digging about these yogurt breads that I've been messing with, and the yogurt crust. One, there's not really much rise time to a lot of them, and the other thing is that it doesn't call for all the flour, so you're not using a ton of flour to do all that stuff. You're just you know, a lot of bread recipes, they go for anywhere from about 4.5, which is my standard bread recipe, to all the way up to almost 7 cups of flour. So when you're doing these, the flour isn't, you're not just having you don't just have 7 cups of flour sitting on your counter for the next week to sit around. You kind of have your bread for what you want it for, and you don't have it tempting you with all the calories and whatnot. So that's kind of nice. That in there. And I might add a splish of milk into this too, which is a viable option. If your dough's a little shaggy and you don't want it to be shaggy, a little bit of water or a little bit of milk, that'll fix you right up. But it says it's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to get the gluten all broken down and get going. Let's see, I mean, we got folks in. Yeah, we're getting a few folks in. Maybe the chat's not working. That I am gonna do just a little splish of milk in there and scrape a little bit more of that yogurt. Kind of grab that and topple that into that. That's a little shaggier than what I'm supposed to have. There we go. We're at 375 on the oven. There we go. Picking that stuff up. But yeah, I am gonna drop just a smidge of milk into here. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Yeah, it's just gonna, that's a little dry. So everybody listening, I'm folding my laundry. Rock and roll. Yeah, nothing says rock and roll like folding laundry on a Sunday That's hardcore. That's like punk. I would put that in the punk genre. Doesn't need much, just a splish. What's your weather like in Northern Ireland today? I'm gonna go out and say that it's probably pretty nice because you guys have been having some nice weather today instead of all the rain, and it's that time of the year. There we go. Yeah, that's a little better. That's a little better. I'll add a little more flour to it too. It's just a little, I might have wanted just a little overboard yeah, I went just a little bit over on the milk, but we can always fix that with just a smidge more flour. Let's see. Rinse my hands off here. Because I'm going to roll that around in some dough, or some flour, and then it'll be a little easier to knead, and then we'll be alright. And like I said, this is a try me recipe, one that I just found a couple days ago and wanted to try this morning because I didn't want to go into a 3-hour thing of making bread, and so I just wanted to have a little bit of bread for today and tomorrow, because next week's basically all tacos with all the salsa and stuff that I made from the garden. I'm really wanting to salsa and taco pizza and all that other stuff pretty much all next week. It's like winter's day, bucketing down outside and freezing cold. You have the heat. Oh, you got the heat on? I thought you'd be in like really good shape for today, because it seems to be nice like everywhere, which usually we don't always have the same weather here, but it seems to be, when I was watching the weather this morning, everybody was kind of in a spot to have nice weather today. But you know, you are on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, so that. But what I was wondering is, are you listening to the Cowboy Junkies while you get your laundry done? You should be listening to some Cowboy Junkies. There we go. That's about what we wanted. Isabel Whitney is here today. Good morning. Happy Sunday to you. Hope your Sunday is doing well. There we go. That's a little bit more what we're after. And it's not going to be a huge loaf, like it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be like a big loaf of bread. It's just sort of bread to have, you know, it's 2 cups of flour and a cup of yogurt. So you're not going to have a crazy amount of bread, which is what I like. I don't like to have a lot of bread around the house. I like to have it for what I need it for, and that because it's kind of fattening. So we're gonna get that. We've got our loaf pan right here. We should put it always away in Ireland. Rain never too far away. I need to check them. I will do it after your live stream. Okay. You're going to be surprised once you listen to it. You're going to be like, how have I never heard this before? Because I think it's, honestly, Heather, I think it's right up your alley. I really do. Or I wouldn't push it on that. Because normally I don't really push music on people, but a little butter in there. Unsalted butter, because we don't want, always usually go all unsalted with everything, because when I bake, because then it doesn't burn. You don't want your bread to burn, you just want it to brown. And you don't want to have a tough bottom crust. You want your bottom crust to be about the same as your top crust. Okay, so that's almost ready. So we'll slap that in there. See how far that is down. It's not a crazy ton amount of bread. And then we'll just go through and we'll just slice the top of it without slicing myself, which could be difficult. There we go. And just a real quick one right through the top there. There we are. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to crack some eggs. I'm going to crack the eggs for the omelet, and then I'll do the egg wash out of that. And then we'll drop our sea salt on there. And we should be in business. So let's get our eggs cracked here in the front. One, two, three, and four. Because the Beegs is going to need an egg this morning too. She's not getting an omelet, but she's going to get an egg. So we'll get a fork. I'm going to dump just a little bit of water into there. Yeah. Splish of water into that. There we go. And my fork. And we're ready to start whisking. I got always about knocked the camera over. At least once. Because if I don't, then it's not this channel. I don't think I've ever knocked it completely over, but between me and the dog, we generally will at least bump it 4 or 5 good times. But since she doesn't smell anything cooking yet, she's went into the living room to go in there and sun herself, which kind of keeps her out of my way for just a little while. Should be nice. Okay. So we'll just add the egg wash to the top. Oh, she's found something that's she can't help but bark up. There's probably some little kid that's decided to ride their bike down her in front of her house, and she's letting them know that she's there. Okay, so there's that, and then we'll take our salt. Eric, Pacific Northwest, what's up? Isabel Whitey, where are you? I am in Ohio. As the slogan says, the heart of it all. I don't know how true that is, but I do know we make everything here. Rick, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So we got our salt on the top. Now, one thing about yogurt bread, if you put too many holes in it, if you start making those fancy things, and even with this one strip down the center, I got a really good chance of it blowing out, and it just basically like pull apart bread. So you don't want to go like a sourdough and put like a design in it. It just doesn't work like that. It literally will just, it'll just blow like popcorn. So that's kind of a no-no when it comes to yogurt bread. I do like to cut the little things, and like when I'm doing a sourdough or I'm doing a regular bread, I like to put a little pattern on there or whatever. But let's see, I am in Vermont, the green state. Vermont is I bet Vermont's looking really pretty right now. All the leaves are starting to go. Max Millen, what's up, Max? How are you? Enrico, good morning to you. Good to see you. And we're going to get this into the oven. We're at 375. You can, it is suggested to heat this in the oven first when you're doing bread. But all you got to really do is just add, since I've got such a really greased pan for cast iron, just add another 5 minutes for it to heat up, and then you can start looking in there. See, yeah, we got all kinds of folks showing up. Good. Okay, so that's in there, 375. We're going to set our timer for 30 minutes, which is going to give us about that much time to, I know it seems like a while to make an omelet, but we've got a lot of stuff to do for the omelet, so it will make sense, I promise. So we got our eggs off to the side. I'm going to put my melted butter over here, create a little space for me to work, and wipe that counter off some, and then we'll get into it. There we go. My dishes into the sink, fork into the sink, and wipe that off, and we'll be good to go. But yeah, like I said, even the herbs and stuff, from Switzerland. Well, good morning from America. How's the weather in Switzerland today? That is something that I am always curious about people's weather. Like right now here it's probably 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And let's see, it reminds me of when I was a kid and my father cooked for us on Sundays, not often, but yummy, so yummy. Yeah, we do this every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we've got that together. And I've got to, which I forgot to do, which is start heating the pans up. Because you want to give your pans, for cast iron, if you don't want your stuff to stick, you want to give yourself about 5 minutes to get it. It's rainy in the Alps. Very cool. Seems to be raining everywhere, but so far I'm the only one that's having good weather. At least the people that have checked in on what kind of weather they're having. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely. This is why I try never to. I always try to plan my vacations and things like this in September here in Ohio, because Ohio, September is always beautiful here till like the last 3 days. Then October, the 1st of October, that week's kind of crappy. Then it goes back to nice, and then at the end could be anything. Great weather here. Are you in Rick? So you're in California today? Because I know you bounce back between California and Las Vegas, I believe. Today I've got the mullein and tea with lemon, honey, and let's see, rose petal, and what's some of the other stuff? It's got dehydrated raspberries in there. Super, super good. Yeah, Vegas too. Yeah, that's what I thought. Like I said, I forewent the coffee this morning. My head was just, I don't know why that. I think it's just the weather. I think it's from sleeping with the windows open, and it gets, because it's been getting down to about 50 degrees, 40, even into the 40s some night. Yeah. You're in Western North Carolina. Cool. Yeah, so you're right there. You get what I'm saying, man. Our weather, like right this now, is September in North Carolina. Is that pretty awesome too? But yeah, so we've got here's green peppers. I got the green pepper out of the garden today. I even got this little guy that I was hoping would get bigger, but never got bigger. But it started to turn red, so I figured he was ready to go. So we'll cut him up first. I've already washed all these and vinegared them, everything. So I don't suspect there's anything too bad with them. I could not use that piece. I'll put that off to the side and look at it when I'm not wearing my glasses, when I can take a little closer look at it. You always got to check your garden stuff. Make sure there's no little critters in there hanging out. But they are washed, so. And we did make everything. I'm really happy with this time of year too, because everything's coming out of the garden. It's just one thing after the next. I went out and got tomatoes, everything. Like I said, everything, even the herbs and everything are right out of the garden this morning. The onions, which I already cut the onions up because I didn't want to get them on the board. But even the onions are from the garden this morning. So they are just like hours old. The pepper, that's why the peppers that, I never seem to get really big peppers, but my peppers are really good. They're really tasty. And then if there's any kind of a lull, we'll break out the, I'll show you guys, and I'll do it, what am I cooking? I'm making bacon omelets with Italian herbs, and I'm making, the bread that I just put in there, Max, is yogurt bread, Greek yogurt bread. So, that's what that's what's on the menu this morning. There we go. And I'll show you guys that sauce that I made for Thursday. And what I did was, now if you were watching to see the hot sauce was the way that I did it. Good morning, Marie. How are you? And the hot sauce is how I generally make it, but that salsa that I made was sort of like a time filler. So that recipe was, you know, there's a lot of, I actually got a couple of emails, not from, this isn't the one you sent, Rick, but a couple of people, they're like, oh, you should have put this in it or that. The salsa that I made was right out of the garden. That was just, I made salsa out of what I had. And I did neglect to put any kind of garlic in it, which I fixed. And I forgot the oregano as well. So I didn't have either one. I ended up putting it back in there. And then what I did do with the salsa is, if you watched how I made the, I'm gonna move this butter to the back before I burn my arm, before I knock it all over the place. But where was I at? Oh, I was saying that I took that pulp from the hot sauce and I added that to the salsa. And boy, I'm telling you what, man, if I was to put a name on it, I'd call it like 5-alarm fire sauce. That sauce is super hot, but it's so good. Cayenne pepper sauce is so different than Tabasco pepper sauce. It really is. I can get going on this stuff. These pieces are so small. If you're used to store-bought peppers, when you get them from the garden, they're so small as comparison. But we use the green peppers here today as the filling for the omelet. And we're going to do a nice size 3-egg omelet with a piece of bacon in it and some onion and cheese. I've got, what's the cheese I have for today? It's mozzarella, Colby, and Monterey Jack mixture. That's what we're going to use. So that should be pretty tasty overall as far as filling goes. And then we're going to cut this up a little bit. Or we're going to saute this just a little teeny bit. Let's see. What's cooking? Casey Days, what's up, buddy? Pat Z, how are you this morning? Ma'am, good to see you. I'm making bacon, almost like a BLT omelet, just no L in the omelet, with some Italian herbs and that I just got. I got some basil out of the garden. I got some oregano out of the garden. I'm trying to think what else I got. I got thyme up there, but I don't know if I'm going to use the thyme in there or not. So we'll put these little red peppers in there for a little. It's funny, this was the teeniest tiny, this was one of the first peppers that I got, this little red one. It was one of the first peppers I got, and I just kept thinking, man, it's gonna grow, it's gonna grow, it's gonna grow. It's like the little pepper that could, and it never did. And then the last couple days it turned red, and I'm like, well, we'll take it off. Red bell peppers aren't my favorite, but I saw your episode with peppers yesterday, Hazy. Jeez, oh Pete, yeah, boy, that was something else. I knew you could do it though. We've got a few other YouTubers in here. Hazy has a music channel, and he does some food reviews, which is pretty cool. So check out his channel. Heather White is so close to 1,000 subscribers if she hasn't hit it already. Pepper X is no joke, brother. It didn't look like it was. And the comments that you were getting, brother, that was so funny. I mean, so funny. Like you were sitting up there just dying, and you were getting everybody was in there just there was no sympathy for you in that chat whatsoever. But yeah, Heather's really close to 1,000, so at some point, if you could go check her channel out. And she does a lot of live, sort of busker style. So does Hazy. They do a lot of busker style, where it's live, take requests. So, you know, it's pretty cool. I like it. And since if you come to my house, it's kind of like it's kind of like you'd think that I was there's a lot of Irish stuff in my house. I watch a lot of Irish television and English television too. So it's kind of nice to watch folks from over there as well. I have a lot of, for people that don't know, I've been on the Dairy Girls kick for about the past year, and usually when I'm done with the live streams on Sundays, I generally have the Dairy Girls on as I'm cleaning up everything. Cause that's like one of my that's one of my new favorite shows to watch. Let's see, I've got more to do, yeah. Yeah, and congratulations, Hayes, way to hit 20,000 subs. That's amazing. And you and Heather have just been banging out the subscribers, which is I think is so awesome. I really do. I'm so happy for you guys. Because like I was watching Heather's live stream last night off and on, and Heather had the same amount as I. My ex-husband is a dairy man. That's funny. Oregano and eggs is flavorful. Sometimes I use Provence herbs from the south of France too. Oh, is that just the area of France? Provence, France? My ex-husband is a dairy man. Oh, what's the name of the school? What's the name? Oh, that's just an all-girls school. I don't remember what the boys' school was called. I mean, I know it's fictional, but I was going to ask if he went to that boys' school. Just a joke. Okay, with a little bit of that fresh basil in there, just the sweet basil. I love that in eggs. And then I did pick off a little. I've got the oregano, which is German oregano. This German oregano is my favorite kind of oregano. For whatever reason. I just really like German oregano. Lavender region. Oh, okay. Very cool. See, we're all learning something. You come here to watch a little bit of novice cooking and super old cast iron pieces from like last century and restoration, and then you find out get a little geography at the same time. That's always good. A little geography with the badger first thing on a Sunday morning. There we go. And for the strain of tomatoes that I've got growing out back, these are one of the strains I have. These are sweet 100s, so they're really small. They're kind of a thicker skin, which I like because they're easy to cut. They're really nice to cut, but they don't get very big, and they are very sweet. So if you use them in a pizza sauce, or you make like a spaghetti sauce or any kind of a Mediterranean, it is going to add just a little bit of sweetness. Lavender, the best. I've got kind of a funny lavender story for this morning. I was in the shower this morning when I got up, and I had to re-up on the soap on the sponge, and I grabbed my daughter's body wash by mistake instead of the one that I normally use, which is, smells like pretty masculine smelling stuff. It's sort of barbershop. And I was like washing, and I had soap in my eye, so I couldn't see what I was doing. And all of a sudden, so now I smell like blueberries and moon something. I don't even know what the heck it was. I don't even know what the heck kind of that it is. So I've got like this blueberry. Every once in a while I get a smell of blueberry. Lavender. Blueberry and lavender. That's why I said lavender. So every once in a while I get the smell of blueberry and lavender. Which is, blueberry and lavender is not bad. It just wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't the Club Man gents gin that I usually wear. Let's see. Okay, so we got that part done. Let's see, we got about 15 minutes on our on that to do. Let me see, make sure that I got everything cut. I've got a couple pieces of parsley. I'm not gonna throw the parsley in there. I just grabbed that because it was growing. And I thought we'd kind of spice up our blueberry badger. Yeah, exactly, dude. Yeah, I was like, I'll wash it up, and I'm like, what is that smell? I kept thinking, I'm like, what is that smell? I mean, it doesn't smell bad. You know, it wasn't like anything terrible, but I'm like, and then once I got rinsed off, I like looked over there, and the lid to the other thing, which the packages are very similar. So, Lower Michigan Adventures, what's up, Jimmy? How are you, buddy? Good to see you. And yeah, I looked over, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that explains a lot. Maybe I had one too many beers last night before, one too many beers before I went to bed. If there is such a thing. I don't know if there is. Okay, so we got that. And I'll show you guys the overall, the one thing that I did want to show you is, if you watch this thing, if you watch the channel on Thursday or Friday when I made the hot sauce, this is the hot sauce consistency of how it was. And if you can see all the seeds in there, I took the pulp from where I strained the cayenne peppers off, and I added a tablespoon of the pulp into there. And boy, that is something else. This is the best hot sauce, or this is one of the best hot sauces I've ever made, because I took that pulp and I put it back into there, and that was so good. And I'll show you like the different consistency from where I did this, and then when I made the Tabasco sauce, and I didn't whip, I added more vinegar to that. But the Tabasco sauce, if you can see the consistency of that, I'm getting flour on it, but it's really a lot thicker, and I've left it in the blender a lot longer. So the Tabasco sauce came out great. It really did. I had, that seems to be what everybody was drinking last night. I was the only one that had Miller Lights. I don't mind a good Coors Light though, but they didn't have Coors Light in a bottle. And then as far as the salsa I made, now you guys saw the salsa, but I did add dehydrated chives, and then I added the garlic, and I added what was the other thing I said that I forgot? And the salsa thickened up because I know a lot of people thought that it came out really thin, but if you let your salsa sit for a day overnight, the salsa will come out really nice, and this salsa came out really well. So there we go. That's how that ended up looking. So it wasn't as watery as what you think it does. I'm trying to think of what else I forgot when I was doing it, because I added the oregano to it, because salsa definitely needs oregano. So let me check out how we're looking here with this bread. Yeah, the bread's starting to look like bread. Digging on that. But like I said, I'm gonna add another 5 minutes to that. So what else was I gonna show you guys? I was gonna show you guys something else, but I can't remember now what it is. I really don't remember. And I was gonna cut up a couple more tomatoes. Just a few tomatoes. Because I figure while I got the knife out and the board out, I might as well, even if I don't use all this stuff, I can throw it in a container and all that. Oh, and I'm going to start the bacon. That's the other thing I'm going to do. I'm going to get the bacon going. And I'm going to start the Beagle's bacon first, because she has been being an exceptionally good dog this last couple days. Like, I don't even know. It's like somebody switched my dogs out, because I don't know why she's being so good, and she knows I'm talking about her. But she has been super good. I tried to beat the heat today. Today's going to be in the mid-80s. Yeah. And for those who don't know, Jimmy is in Michigan. There's the Beegs, sunning herself, being good for a change. I don't know what's gotten into this beast, but she is being super good. So I'm gonna get her bacon going, and then I'm gonna do my bacon, because that way that gives her something to occupy her time with, other than bugging me. And plus she's being good, so she gets a little bacon. So we'll move over to here, switch you guys over to this way. her pieces of bacon in there. And I'm gonna do all the pre stuff on the Smithy, because I like using the beard cam. She's recharging solar power beads, yeah. Jeff's being good too, but I've got a feeling more to deal with the food I'm currently eating, and that's what he's interested in. Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so we'll bring you guys over this way, over and up. Like I said, I'm gonna do everything. I'm gonna do the quick saute and stuff on the Smithy, and then we'll do the eggs over on the Lodge pan, and that's what we're gonna do. And once again, I'm not using bottom bacon, I'm using shoulder bacon, because I am loving shoulder bacon. It just seems to be, it's just the best bacon. I love it. There's not as much fat in it. It seems to cook a lot better. And I don't know if people, we kind of have a little bit of an international audience going on this morning. Now, with the bacon that you guys use, is it more of a shoulder bacon like this, or is it like the belly bacon that we use here in the States? Is pretty much common, this strip bacon? Because shoulder bacon is a lot different than, and I've really been loving this as far as bacon goes. As much as you can love a piece of bacon, that's what I've been liking this. And I'm not going to pepper or salt that, because the dog's getting that one. And I'll do a quick, I'm going to turn the light on for the bread. I don't want to, there's one thing I always believe in, I don't want to keep opening the oven, because, if you're looking, you're not cooking. So, anyway, give it something to drink. I think ours is strip bacon. Yeah, that's generally what a lot of, and I just started using this shoulder bacon, like I just found it in the last year, and I absolutely love it. It's not nearly as fatty, which I should have actually even greased. I'm not in the habit yet of putting, usually when I put bacon onto the cast iron, I don't put anything down, but I think I actually should have maybe put just a little bit of butter or something down in there to kind of grease the pan, because I think this might stick a little bit. This is kind of more of like putting ham on a cast iron without anything underneath it. There's just not a lot of fat to it, which I like. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that like to save bacon grease, but you can't really, there's no real grease to save on this, which I like, because I went over a few months ago to do an appraisal. A lady had her grandmother had passed, and she left her a lot of cast iron pans, and so I drove over into Indiana, and I did an appraisal for her about what her cast iron would be worth, and what she should probably should save, and what she should get rid of, because she wanted to be particular. She didn't want to keep it all. She just wanted to keep a few pieces. And so I did the appraisal, and her grandmother had it was like 10 cans of bacon grease laying around. So, sort of probably a Depression era lady, but I don't need to have 10 cans of bacon grease laying around in my kitchen at all times. I think that's just a little much. The only thing I use bacon grease for, in all reality, is on the grill to lubricate the grates. I don't use a lot of bacon grease for anything else. My buddy's mom used to make bacon gravy when we were kids. I don't know how good for you that was, to be super honest. Bacon gravy sounds like, I mean, it was good, but man, you felt it like after you ate it. His mom lived to be about 90 some years old, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about it, but that was a heck of a lot of bacon grease. Bacon grease gravy. I guess. Well, like I said, she lived to be well in her late 80s, early 90s. So maybe there's something to it. Bacon grease, I mean bacon grease and bacon overall is fairly nutritious. It's just, if you've got cholesterol issues, then probably not the greatest thing for you. Okay, so we got about 10 minutes on the bread. And I really got the oven light on, which doesn't do me much good in the daytime because all it is the oven door is glass, so it's just a mirror. Let's see, where are we at? Very badger. There we go. And we're getting a few likes. A few people stuck with me this morning to see the end result. The end result's going to be awesome. It really is. Because those Lodge fans, as I eat a tomato, because I'm starving to death, those Lodge fans are great for eggs. If you don't have a Lodge 9-inch griddle, I would highly suggest getting one. Highly suggest getting one. And it is one of the things when people ask me about what kind of cast iron to get, I always recommend to get a 9-inch griddle. And a thick one. Thin ones are great, but the thicker ones are a little easier to control with your, they're easier to control. Alright, so let's jump this back over this way, because I'm going to bring that bacon over here and I'm going to chop this up for the dog. And then I'm going to throw, I'm going to throw on there. It's like, ooh, got the stand through my, here's my Valentine's decorations are still up, because I'm so on it. Let's see. Okay, so there's the other cutting board we're going to use for that. So we've got our bacon, that first round of bacon's done. Beagle bacon. There we go. Uh-oh. Somebody's crossed the border. Somebody's entered the yard, it sounds like. The Beaks is not, she doesn't go too kindly with people entering her space. There we go. There we go. And there we go. There's some beagle bacon and some snack bacon. A little something to tide me over. There we go. Well, there we go. Beagle breakfast is served. There we go. One beagle breakfast down. There you go. Ready? Have fun, kid. Do with bacon. Red alert code alpha. Yeah, 100%. She's letting everyone. Well, there is one dog that two dogs actually. There's two dogs that live on the street that they go back and forth. If when she goes past their house, they bark her up, and if she goes past their house, she barks them up. They bark her up, and then if they come by here, then she barks them up. Their little thing they do, you know, dog stuff. Just doing some dog stuff. Let's see here. And now it's time for my bacon for the omelet, because we're getting about that time. That bread's going to be ready here very, very shortly. So I'll throw those. I'll give myself a few. One to snack on, two to snack on, and one for in the omelet. There we go. And then once that's done, we'll start sauteing the vegetables, the peppers and onions anyway, and then we'll move that stuff out of the way, and then we'll be done. So I got the bacon back over here in the back. Let me throw this bacon back in the fridge. I do not want to forget that the bacon's out, which I've done before. And that's where we're at. That's where we're at for right now. Got my onion out. And we'll saute all that stuff. And we'll be ready to go. As far as I know. As far as I know. Back over this way. Beagle's enjoying her bacon. So she should be. Well, you made short work of that kid. Jeez, Pete. Nothing goes down with better than bacon, I guess. Okay, so there we go with that. Actually, I'll take you guys back over here. We'll mess with that because there's not much going on right in the action. I just want to give the dog, give her some room to do her thing. But unlike hers, ooh, you made breakfast tacos this morning. Mercy B, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. So we'll add some pepper to that. There we go. It's not bacon if it don't have pepper. So did you make like a corn tortilla, or did you just use like soft tortillas, sort of burrito style? How'd you do those? Inquiring minds want to know. There we go. Get some of that little scrape. Some of that other bacon crud off there. No metal on this one. I'll break out the metal spatulas on the other one, but none on this. The yellow corn tortillas, very cool. Yeah, that sounds good, man. I'm glad. I'm ready to go for tacos and burritos and everything else next week with all that salsa and hot sauce. And I'm gonna try and make homemade tortilla chips out of burrito shells. I'm gonna do that. I'm lucky. I got one of those yummy tacos. Oh, you got one of those yummy tacos? Yeah, that sounds really good. There we go. Got a quick flip. Got about 3 minutes till it says the bread's done. I'm gonna take a gander at it. That bread's looking really good. I wish I would have gotten one of those yummy tacos. That would have been awesome. So far I'm waiting, and I'm just like, it's like Christmas dinner. You know, you just sit and smell it, and you're ready to go. Like if I wouldn't have done a live stream this morning, I'd probably eaten like an hour ago. And it would have been something a heck of a lot quicker. I'd had a bowl of oatmeal. I woke up hungry, but I didn't want to eat because I knew if I did, then I wouldn't. Because I'm eating quite a bit of food actually for one person. And the Beegs just came in here and she had hers. She had her stuff. I'll let that go on there just a little bit longer. Bring you guys a little closer into the give you a little bacon cam here. A little bit of bacon cam. Oh yeah. I'm really digging on the Smithy. It's hard to season, but it doesn't have any stick either. It's so smooth it doesn't stick anyway. I don't know how that, I do not like doing eggs on this yet. I haven't broken it in yet to do where I like doing eggs, like I do on the Lodge that I've had. I've had that Lodge for about 5 years, and I've only stripped it down one time, and that's because I messed it up. But that's a great pan for tortillas and for eggs. Absolutely love it. There we go. Say once we brown this other side, that's gonna be finished. I'll probably have to paper towel this too, because the first round didn't have any real grease on it, but it's starting to get a little grease in there. I have that Smithy number 12. Oh, okay. Speaking of the Smithy, I haven't seen Greg Hart in here today. Not seen him. Okay, so that's done. So we're gonna pull that off and paper towel it. And And we'll cut that up, and I'm going to throw the vegetables on and get those going, and then we'll start our eggs, and then we'll be ready to rock. So we've got that done. I don't push it too much, start a grease fire. Alright, there we go. Okay, so turn the timer off, and we'll check the temperature on the bread. The Hickory guy, I love the Smithy line, the 8 chef skill, it's amazing for eggs. Really? Yeah, I saw that there. I mean, I don't have a chef skill of any kind, as far as like a cast iron piece goes. I have that Julia Child omelet pan, but that's aluminum. So I still haven't cleaned that up, by the way. So I'm not gonna act like I did. Uh-oh. Who's out there? Oh. Paul's going down the sidewalk. Better give him the biz. Okay. So turn that down just a smidge. We'll take the bread out. We're going to take the bread out. We're going to check the bread's temperature and see if that's anywhere near where we want it. Because I want about 185 on the bread. And then that's what we're going to do. Then we'll take that off, put it on a rack off to the side, and then we'll cut it up. And our omelets are done. Oh man. Look at that bread. Woo boy. Let's get a close up of that. Let's see. Boy, look at that bread, guys. That bread came out perfect. I'm gonna drop down and take its temperature real quick, and hopefully that it's rocking somewhere up around 185, 190. And did I tell you guys that I left my regular one, my digital one, out in the sun? So I'm going old school with the old Cooper dial, so it's going to take a second to figure this out. But I'm pretty sure that we're looking at some fairly done bread, because I'm up at 100. I'm still rising fairly well at 150 or 160, but it will take just a second to dial this one up. Oh man, it looks a little washed out on my TV. I don't know, on my monitor, not on my TV, but my monitor behind me. So I hope it's not looking as washed out to you guys. But that bread's like, I'd pick that up at the bakery if I could. That's for sure. And it smells fantastic. So yeah, we're at 170. Where's the top? I don't want to overdo it. So we're 170 according to this. This is not the most accurate of scales either. So I'm gonna rough it, man. I'm saying it's saying it's just under about 175. So I'm gonna try it one other. I don't want to poke a ton of holes in it, but see how accurate this is. Because this thing's real accurate till it gets to be. This is why I don't use it very. I quit using it. But it was accurate to about 120 degrees. It was cool for a steak, but after that it really didn't do that well. It's being accurate on the corners. It's saying that I'm right about 180 on the corners. Maybe we will give this like 5 more minutes, but I don't know. It's one of the downfalls of not heating your cast iron up first too. So this is saying 180. So I'm gonna go, I don't know. I don't know if I want to do that or not. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just gonna pull it as it is. I'm gonna set it off. I'm gonna get my rack out to put it on, and we're just gonna let that kind of marinate right there for a minute. Because I got a feeling that that's done. It looks done. It looks really done. But I'm gonna talk myself into throwing it back in till the other stuff is finished. As I try and find some sort of room in my tiny kitchen. There we go. Alright. in the tiny kitchen. There we go. All right, pop back over to here just for a second, and I'll get my oven mitts, and we'll pop it over onto there. See how it does. There we go. That should be fairly decent. And no stick, I might add. None. There we go. Popped right out, which is what you want. Put that back in the oven. Turn the oven off. Turn the front burner back on to saute our vegetables. And there we go. Let's flip that over. How long does it take to make an omelet? About, with everything prepped, it takes me about 3 minutes. About 3 minutes to make the omelet. Oh, we'll flip the bread over. My bad. Getting a little ahead of myself. I'm ready for that omelet. So there we go. There we go. Boy, that bread looks great. It really does. I'm really happy with that. All right, so let's get over here and we'll start sauteing the vegetables up as the bread cools down slightly. So we'll take our vegetables over there and put our peppers. I'm gonna put you guys right in front of that actually, so we can have you guys right there. There we go. Which isn't gonna take long at all to saute the vegetables. So we'll just have that little bit, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of sweet and green onion into there. We'll take our oregano, throw on that, and some basil, throw on that, and that'll be it. We'll save the tomato to put off to the side. As I get a plate, I'm going to get a plate out too for all this business. I'm running out of room fast. Running out of room. Okay. Oh, I'll use my big server. There we go. Like that. Let it mix around. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. That's smelling great. Those little aromatics in there are making all the difference in the world. But I don't want to overdo them. I just want to give them here about another minute as I get my plate down. And then I'm going to butter that one griddle. And we're going to do our eggs. And we're rounding home. We're on third and we're just getting ready to head home. So there we go with that. Yeah, that's what we want. Oh, no wait, I did do the bacon. I forgot to cut the bacon. Cut a little bit of bacon up off to the side, that's why I left that. You guys can watch that over there while I slice this bacon into some bits. Bacon's still pretty hot. There we go. Yeah. Kind of you guys keep an eye on that for me. Man, it smells so good in here. Got the fresh baked bread, got a bacon, Italian herbs going. Jesus, Pete. No wonder the dog's barking at people going by. Probably looking at my windows, wondering what the heck I got going on in here. Okay. So there's that. And we'll switch you guys back over this way because we're about to get where we need to be. Move the stand just for a second. Oh, I'm on the mat back there. There we are. All right, cool. So let's butter that up. Let's butter this up. And all around, even the sides. Make sure You don't have to have a puddle of eggs and cast, or a puddle of butter, or whatever you're using in cast iron. This is unsalted butter as well. I try to use it as unsalted as much as I possibly can to reduce the burn of anything, to keep the burn away. So let's see how this pours onto here. And like I said, this is about 4 eggs. I doubt I'm going to need all that egg. So the Beegs will have a scrambled egg for herself. And we'll just move that around. And I know there's a lot of people that make the Gordon Ramsay style egg omelets. I don't do the Gordon Ramsay anything. His food's probably good, it's just not my cup of tea. So I'm gonna let that set up for just a minute. I was starting to get a little ahead of myself there. There we go. Oh, salt and pepper. Salt and pepper that. That's gonna cost me. I messed that up. And salt in there. That is going to cost me a little bit. I don't want my egg to over brown. Got a cheese in there, mozzarella, Colby Jack, and Monterey, Colby and Monterey Jack. Vegetables into there. There we go. Oh, ooh, that's hot. That mitt's not that great. Where's my other mitt? That mitt is not wanting to play ball. There we go. Move that down there a little bit. These down here. Now you may say that's not very many vegetables, but we have our tomatoes yet to throw in. Throw in there. So we wanted to give that some room for the tomato. And more cheese for the top. Oh, and the bacon. My bad. Almost forgot the most important part. The bacon's the best part. So then the bacon in there. That a little more to the outside. Finish it up with the rest of this cheese. There we go. And for everybody wondering when I'm going to flip this, I'm not. That's the trick of this omelet. And then we'll go, and what we'll do is, we're going to get a nice couple spatulas, and we're just going to make sure that the eggs are loose from the side, which they should be. Eggs are loose from the side. And then move the camera over this way. This is where having the camera in here kind of screws me up, but oh, camera doesn't want to stay. What is the camera doing? There we go. Hopefully that stays. Camera doesn't want to stay. All right, so there we go. Anyway. So then we just go around the rest of it. You want to use a wood one. This is usually a lot easier. There we go. And then I just flip that over. A little browner than I wanted, but that's one of the hassles of doing this live with the camera in your way, but there we go. So let that cheese kind of settle there for a second. Let that cheese kind of settle. And as I let the cheese settle, Let the cheese settle with this, and you're probably wondering why I'm doing this, but there's a method to my madness. Off to the side there, get a little better angle. Biggs, you're gonna be knocking my camera over here. That's already getting knocked over for some reason. Let me just adjust my camera real quick. There we go. Having technical issues. There we go. And drop that back down. Sorry guys. Doing this on the fly. So then we got that. There, a lot better. Okay, and we'll take, which I should have been doing this. This is what I forgot to do. A little dollop of mayo into there. Some of our hot sauce. A little bit of that hot sauce that I was bragging about. There we go. I should have been doing that part. I kind of dropped the ball, but this is why it's in real life. Mix that together with some Beagle. You really gotta. Your bacon's over with. This is where an immersion blender would be my best friend. And a little bit of olive oil. In there. Maybe more of that hot sauce. Yeah, I think I'm going to go just a smidge more of the hot sauce. As I kick the camera. There we go. As I kick the camera again, going back and forth. There, I wanted more red. I wanted a lot more red in that. A lot more sauce. Spoon that over it. Like I said, this is where an immersion blender would be really cool, but I don't have that. We'll put the sauce on there. There we are. A little bit more of our fresh herbs and tomatoes. There we go. There's herbs and tomatoes. A few tomatoes on the top. There we go. And we'll cut off a piece of our bread. And then a piece of our bread with a little bit of butter on it over top of it. There we go. And there you have it. There we are. Finally, breakfast is ready. So we have our omelet, our yogurt bread, and that's all you need. Breakfast is done. I'm going to put a little point onto that. See if we can see it better. There we go. And grab myself a fork and a knife, and we'll test it out. Thank you very much. Hot honey butter, aka badger butter. Yeah, that was mayo and hot sauce with a little bit of olive oil. So it's sort of like a BLT omelet. That is hearty. Little bits of the bacon with the herbs in there. Could have got myself a sharp knife. There we go. Yeah, I'll take that. If I can get it forked up. Oh man, that's great. That is so good. I know that's my, this is what I thought she would be full on all that bacon, but I guess not. That bread is so good. I think the 5 more minutes might have done it a little more justice, but that bread's awesome. Yeah, she's loving it. She's loving it, all right. She's super spoiled beags. But yeah, I mean, that's really good. And that hot sauce that cayenne pepper sauce is super good. This ain't Denny's, I can tell you that. Some of those vegetables in there. Wow, that's good. Those tomatoes, the sweet of the tomatoes, the bang of that basil, that is wow. I got to get some of that on the bread. That is super good. Yeah, which is the reason I made the bread. I wanted to have something. You can't have bacon and eggs without bread. Wow. Man, that is so good. That bread. And like I said, after just trying it, just trying the bread itself, that recipe, I'm really happy with that. I would definitely do that again. That's going to be in my bread go-to list for any time I want quick bread. And it's not a huge loaf of bread. You know, it's just good for little sandwiches. Yeah, I'm definitely on that. Let me get a sharper knife. I'm going to do about one more bite here. More nice sized bite with a sharp knife. Let me pick that up. But yeah, that's banging. And the cheese in there. Nice. Oh man, cheese pull. Gotta have a cheese pull with an omelet. There we go. That is so good. Wow. Well, I'm going to finish that because all you're going to hear from now on is just my lips smacking and me eating. Because like I said, number one, I'm hungry. Number two, that came out really, really good. I wish I would have remembered to do the sauce earlier. That would have looked a little better. But the topping sauce. But other than that, man, it really came out. I'm really happy with that. And we did all that within an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. So I mean, you're not gonna get that at Denny's. This is the kind of thing you only get at home. So anyway, Mercy B, thank you so much for stopping in. Heather, thank you so much for stopping in. Hazy Days, thanks for stopping in. Rick Stumball, thanks for stopping. Lake Hickory Guy, Lower Michigan Adventures, thanks for stopping in. And Pat Z, thank you so much for stopping in. I bet you anywhere, somewhere out there, Granny Graham is out lurking around. And Sweet Justine's out there as well. So I appreciate everybody for stopping in and having breakfast with me this morning. Everything was great. Enjoyed the company. And I guess I'll see you guys Thursday. And when I do, I'll see you in the comment section. All right. See ya.